Hi, everybody, and welcome to Girlfriends Forever. And I have a really special guest today coming from California, all the way from California, although it looks like she might be in Paris, but she's assured me she's in California. This is Sonia Rester. Hi, Sondra.
Hi, Ruth.
How are you?
I'm good. And you have a very recognizable voice. I could hear your name anywhere you're speaking, and I would know that that was you.
Oh my gosh, I think I should be flattered, and thank you for that, but I'm always amazed when people tell me that. So shall we talk about how we met, where we met?
Sure.
Sure.
We met when you worked for the Workforce Investment Board, and I worked for Tulare County Department of Child Support Services.
Right, that's been a long time ago now.
That's been a long time ago. I stopped working in 2007. And I was a non-voting member of the Workforce Investment Board.
That's right, I remember that.
And I was on the youth council. So I was over there in Ruth's building all the time, meetings. And then there were other special events that we had over there. And then we had, we used their rooms one time for training, or more than one time. So I was where Ruth worked a lot.
That was such a wonderful building for meetings and trainings. It really was a nice addition to Tulare County, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time there, but then I moved on. I guess it was in 2006, I moved on to, I became the county training officer. And so I moved over to HRD, which is, it was a little tiny cramped building in those days. I think they've moved again, but anyway. So we've known each other a long time.
Yeah, we have. Not long time. Like most of my friends I've had, my friends are longtime friends.
Yeah. So when I posted on my Clementine Facebook page about friendship and talking about friends, you were one of several people to respond. And I thought, well, how nice, because number one, we hadn't spoken a long time. And number two, I thought, well, let's hear what Sondra's take is on friendship. So thanks for being willing to talk about friendship with me.
Sure. And
So,
I told you I love social research, so this is interesting to me from that point of view. Also, how you're handling it.
yeah. Well, I have a whole separate story, but it's not about me today, so I won't tell you that. But it'll be coming out, I'm sure, in the Facebook stuff. So talk about friendship. So did you have, when you were growing up, did you have girlfriends, and what's your take on friendship anyway?
Yeah, when I was growing up, I had girlfriends, and I had my own, neighborhood friend and my own clique in high school. And my little girlfriend that was
Oops, freezing up, looks like.
Had 4 brothers, and the next door to me had 3 brothers. And down the street and around the corner a little bit was one other family, and they had 2 boys, but they were like a little bit older and they didn't come and play much. So that's who my playmates were, is a whole bunch of, but the good thing was when we played stuff like Lost in Space, one of us got to be the mother and one of us got to be the pretty daughter.
So you grew up in a neighborhood in town. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So, and my name was Cheryl.
Okay. And so then, did you and she keep in touch? Are you friends today, or do you still see each other?
I keep in touch with her parents, and her mother died about a year ago, and I keep in touch with her dad. Her dad and I had a birthday, and so we always kept up with each other because of that. And the the dad lives in another town that's close to where we grew up. So yeah, so Cheryl is my friend.
Nice. And so then, when you became adult, did you have college girlfriends? Did you have work girlfriends?
I mostly had college girlfriends. I had one girlfriend that was my main BSFF college friend. We actually went to another college, and we kind of met in that class, but then we both transferred to the same college, where we went for the rest of our college time. And she was in one of my classes, and I asked her, I said, "Did you go to OU last year?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "I knew I recognized you." I said, "I was always amazed at how you put lipstick on." And I said, "And every time you came into class, your lipstick was perfect. And now that I'm meeting you, I can see how you do it, and I can see how it's perfect." And so, yes, and we're still friends. We've traveled together some. We've kept in touch just as different things, as far as when she lost her dad, and then when she lost her mom. I kept up in touch with her mom too, and her dad, until he became really ill and died. But it's somebody that I keep up with now. As a matter of fact, she and her friend bought a house just recently in Key Largo, Florida.
Yes, nice.
And so she's lived in Denver for a long time. And I told her, I said, "I will never come visit you in Denver." And I did. I only visited her one time, but she came out here some, and we met in Las Vegas one time, and we went to Mexico one time. So we've kept in touch and done things together, and she is a dear friend. Her name is Pam.
So do you feel like when you see Pam, or you talk to Pam over the phone, do you feel like you just kind of, it's like you just catch up with, it's like you never left off. It's not like you have to like reestablish anything. It's just like things are just always the same.
Yeah, we just talk, whatever conversation we were having last, when we talk, we just pick up from that and have talk, about everybody. And yes, a certain amount of it is catching up with people and places and things like that. But yeah, it's just here's what we were talking about last time. Let's keep talking about that.
Right. Yeah. So, how important do you think friendship is as we grow up and reach adulthood, and then as we age?
I think friends are really important, and I have learned that lesson the hard way. When I moved to California, I was coming out here to be with my family. I was coming out to be with my parents because they were aging. And at that time, I had two sisters that lived here. And one of my sisters was married and had my niece and nephew. And really, that was the thing that caused me to move out here, was wanting to be here with my niece and nephew when they were growing up. And so I did not seek out friends here. I had a more than full-time job. I had a health that was just about to do me under, and I did not make personal friends. I would say at this point, I have two friends from work, and it's Shirley and Valerie. And I keep up with both Valerie Simonich from
Oh,
Porterville,
yes.
and then Shirley Wallace she was my neighbor like 3 doors down until she and John moved to her dad's house.
Right. Yeah. I'm friends with Shirley.
Yeah, that's how I got connected with you.
Right.
Yeah,
We
because I
we both worked for the county, but we didn't work together, or we weren't in the same department. But I think she did Toastmasters.
yes, yeah.
And I think that's how we got to be friends. And then
Toastmasters when it was at child support.
yes.
Really? Because I was in that too.
I got special permission.
Okay, it's kind of coming back to me now. Do you
Yeah,
remember Toastmasters?
I do.
Okay, all right.
I do. I remember about you in Toastmasters that you were so good at analyzing, when somebody would give a speech and then a couple of people would like give feedback, like how the speech had gone. I always thought you did an excellent job of giving helpful tips. You were very good at analyzing the person's speech. So
Okay,
yeah, I do remember you. Yeah,
okay. Thank you. That's a nice compliment.
yeah. So do you think now, I mean, is that like a detriment now to you that you didn't really take time to make friends when you first moved back into California?
It is.
Is that regretful or?
I don't know how I could have done things differently, really. Our family member, all of us did stuff together all the time.
Mhm.
Just everything from family dinners and birthdays and, just every occasion. We did stuff here at my house. We did an Iron Chef one time here at my house. So when we all felt like it and got together and stuff, we did a lot of things together that was so much fun. And so, so it's hard for me to say that I would do things differently. And like I said, my health was really going downhill about the time. And I just don't think I could make myself available to somebody else. I think I've heard that to have a friend, you have to be one.
Mhm.
And I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And I did not seek out people to be friends with. I have a handful of church friends, but that's different. And when I worked for the county here, I had tons of acquaintances. Like I would go to a thing down at the convention hall, the conference, what's that called? Anyway, the
Convention
convention,
center.
the convention center. I would go in a room where there would be 350 and 400 people in the room, and I would know almost every single one of them. But they were work friends, they weren't personal friends.
Mhm. Yeah, I always kind of envied you the job that you had because you were like a community liaison. I mean, it wasn't just work within the county. I mean, you did outreach and things like that. And I always, in the jobs that I had, I did not have that capability or freedom to do that. So yeah, I always thought you had a really cool job.
Yeah, I did. And after I was named a program manager for public relations, and then I had 2 community liaisons that were working under me. But if you can ever be the first person in a position, do it, because you can create whatever kind of unit you want. And so we called mine the public relations unit.
Yeah, that's very true. You
Yes.
get to make it what you want it to be. That's very true. Yeah.
Mhm. Nobody there knew anything about what I was doing, so I could completely set it up the way I wanted to.
I
But
know.
my bachelor's degree, I have a bachelor's degree in art, and that's a public relations, bachelor of arts in public relations. And
Hmm.
then I have a master of science in communication. And so, I was, well equipped for the job.
Yeah, you were the ideal person for that job for sure. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So after you left, did they continue that? See, I don't remember that after you left.
I have heard very little about it. I
Mhm.
didn't keep in touch with Valerie and Shirley at that time, because I knew they would be the people that people would say, do you know what happened to Sondra? And I thought it was better off for them to not know,
Mhm.
but we have reunited since. And as a matter of fact, a few months ago, we met up over by Porterville Shirley and Valerie and I, and went to one of those paint night things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it was a blast. We had so much fun.
Yeah, those are very fun. Yeah, well, they kept on working for the county though after you left, at least for a while.
Yes, and actually Shirley had already gone on to the other department that she worked for. It was
She went to RMA.
yes, RMA, that's it. Yeah,
Mhm.
she had left.
Yeah. Uh-oh. We have the dogs fighting.
Oh, goodness.
No, it's
I like to hear them. Bo is sleeping at my feet.
so so what do you have to say about friendship today?
Boy, I truly believe that you have to be a friend to someone before they befriend you. It's important. I have needed help in the last few years of things beyond what I live with one sister here. And so, and she's ill too. That's also on Social Security disability, and she can't do very much for herself, much less for me. But if I had had somebody that I could have called on a few times, more than a few times, I probably would have. But it's just what I said before. I wasn't a very good friend.
Mm-hmm. I think the older we get, I find it harder to make friends now than 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And some people would say, well, that's because you moved to a new city and you had to reestablish yourself, and some of that's really true, of course, but I just think that it's harder to meet people of the same age with the same interests. And because I'm an only child and my parents are deceased, I don't have family friends. I mean, I have family, but they're in California and they're much older than me. And so I've never really considered them they're family, but we don't do anything together. So I think that it's much harder to make friends as you age. I mean, I have found that to be like it's just difficult, I think.
It is very hard. And for somebody like me, especially, so just skipping COVID altogether, because the COVID data is like completely, everything is different.
Yep.
I have my sister here. My parents are deceased. My other sister moved away, and my niece and nephew also moved away. So we're here. And I mean, we don't really want to move because we love it here in Visalia. We keep talking about moving to Santa Barbara when we win the lottery. So that's, in our plans. But otherwise, and so like when I'm well enough, I do attend church. I belong to the United Methodist Church here. And so I have gotten a little group of friends that is mainly from our Sunday school class. And they have prior to COVID, they had a women's conference every year. And we met up sort of almost by Yosemite at some training facility. It was a really lovely place. It's a church-owned facility too, but I think it's the Episcopal Church. And so the first time I went to that event, the lady that I was riding with said, we're doing a little skit at first, and I need somebody, I need another person. And I said, oh, well, sure, I'll do, that'll be just fine. So I was, Ruth, my memories are terrible all the time. I was Jezebel, the queen of King Ahab. And the funny thing is, before I was leaving, I could not figure out what jewelry to bring. So I just brought it all. So I went to my room and I put every necklace on that I had. I put rings on every single fingers, some more than one, big bracelets, totally. And so I kept in character the whole time. And I did have one line, which I delivered well. It was, that's where I'm from. And so based on that, the next year when we had it, they just invited me to give a presentation, and they hadn't ever heard me speak, or they didn't know anything about my background in presentations and training and just everything. And I said, well, sure, yeah, I'd love to do that. So it was fun. It was fun. That one also was kind of a similar thing. I was playing a royal person, and that you always didn't know who royalty was. In Bible times, you might not have known who someone was, and there they were royal. So it was right before Halloween, and I went and got a vampire cape, and I had a little fur piece that I had gotten at Rescue Treasures. It had already been dead for probably 20 or 30 years, so I didn't feel too bad about getting it. So I put that around my nape. I had the cape. I had probably my hair was similar to this, and I bought a crown. I found a really cool crown online. It was like $20, and I figured I would get $20 use out of it. And then the rest of my clothing was fairly luxurious. So I was in character, and I really enjoyed that presentation. Those people have been so nice to me. When they all see me at church, we all speak for a minute or two. But other than that kind of event, it is really hard to go to events and meet people. It's not walking around the Renaissance fair and saying, hey, you want to be friends? It doesn't work like that.
Not anymore.
The other type of friends that I have are people that have, one lady in particular who was my caregiver for quite a long time. I have somebody come in on each work day for the morning. I have somebody here Monday through Friday in the mornings. And so one lady who's no longer doing that, she's someone that we're friends with, Sherry and I both. That's my sister, Sherry. And yeah, and I don't have any other, I don't have any recommendations where somebody would go to make friends, because if I knew that, I would. And also, I wrecked my car a couple of years ago, and I didn't replace it. So my care takes me to appointments and things like that. And I figured if I pay some for, the driver people that come and pick you up, Uber, if I pay them a few times or 10 times or whatever, it's still cheaper than buying a car. So, but yes, not having a car also isolates you.
Yeah. Well, I think that some of the places that I go are dependent on the people that also go there. So like, I belong to a gym, and I like to do aqua aerobics, and a lot of women that are older also like to do aqua aerobics. So, I've met a lot of people that are in the pool at the same time, and I think, you can't do anything about this. Most people are married with children and grandchildren. And so they have their unit, already set up, and they probably have lifelong friends in the area. I mean, nobody ever moves out of Cincinnati, is what I'm told. So it's really hard to integrate, when they're perfectly polite and nice, but, they have their friends, they have their bubble already. So, yeah. Anyway, gosh, well, thank you for agreeing to talk about friendship. And it's great to reconnect with you. I'm glad we reconnected through Facebook. It's fun to
Me
see
too.
you on Facebook.
Me too.
And yeah, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Ruth. It was fun.
Good. I'm gonna stop the recording.